Hello, my name is Alan Appel, and I want to present to you the eatveggies.org Integrated Marketing Communications Plan. As an overview, start with our mission, which is to improve the health of adult Americans through education about whole food, plant-based, or we'll refer to it shortly as WFPB lifestyles using social media. The market targets are the Americans concerned about being overweight as a primary market target. Overweight and obesity are associated with cardiovascular disease, which is the nation's #1 killer, and also numerous other diseases such as type 2 diabetes and some cancers. A WFPB lifestyle reduces weight as well as is associated with a reduction in these diseases and all-cause mortality. The beauty of it is that weight comes off naturally and is not a forced or recycling kind of approach where you have on and off weight gain and loss. Our site is positioned as a simple and more direct style. Our service will reach the market by offering science-based presentation of overweight and associated health problems that Americans face. A bi-monthly blog and alternative weekly posts offer new research on the subject, and their general dietary, not personal medical questions will be answered via email and some by phone if that it proceeds to that. The funding and the future plan will be primarily funded by a home office, and advertising of the site will be the only major cost. There'll be time to write the blog and answer email questions, and they're provided free by the author. We'll have a voluntary donation section on the homepage of the site, and ultimately we're targeting having a nonprofit incorporation and a 501c3 status to be formed to limit liability and encourage donations. As far as an overview of the whole plan here is, we'll start with a competitive market analysis, and we'll go to target markets, goals, selected social media platforms, timeline and monitoring plan, budget, return on investment, conclusion, and of course references. The competitive market analysis will use SWOT, which stands for Strength, Weaknesses, Opportunities, and Threats analysis. It's been an excellent way of analyzing a competitive market. In the strengths, we have a whole food, plant-based lifestyle is more healthy than the competition of keto and paleo and other low-carb diets. And as well as omnivore diets. And the beauty is that we have the expertise to offer this lifestyle. The company offers references to the latest nutrition research to support its recommendations. This author has a Master of Science degree in Applied Nutrition, which will provide academic credibility of the author. The weaknesses are foodways and lifestyles are deeply ingrained in people's psyche, and it's difficult to get people to change them. We don't always have the persuasive power to overcome this inertia. Our company does not have the media budget to compete with entrenched industries, and the United States Department of Agriculture's mission is to promote farmers' animal products, and Big Ag has tremendous financial resources and political power, and we don't have any of this to bring to bear. The opportunities are that overweight is of primary concern to the public, and the public is experiencing 2/3 of the population being overweight, which is significant. And heart disease, our #1 killer, and type 2 diabetes are becoming epidemic. And we feel we can solve these problems with a WFPB lifestyle. A WFPB lifestyle is easy to do and economical as well. The threats, there is much less remuneration in recommending a WFPB lifestyle by physicians, and they are perceived as the public's primary health authorities. So it's difficult for them to make a change. Some of the sites like nutritionfacts.org, PCRM.org, and the McDougall site are three major sites that offer extremely detailed research and procedures for free. In monitoring of the social media sites on social media such as Facebook and Instagram, there's a growing interest in improving health. And it does take interpersonal interaction, such as email, to answer questions to overcome dietary pattern inertia. A description of our existing competition: internet competitive sites backed by well-known experts that offer free information are our major competitor. And these are Forks Over Knives, Dr. McDougall's Health and Medical Center, T. Colin Campbell's Center for Nutrition Studies, nutritionfacts.org, Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine, and the Engine 2 Diet. Looking at the existing competition in the local geographic market, which is Marin County, the competition has office space and do business on the internet, and they also have websites. And these are Marin Nutrition and Health, Marin Nutrition Consulting, Barbara Sobel Nutrition, Healthy Living Nutritional Consulting, and Consulting, Essentials for Health, and Jenny Craig. The target market will be U.S. adults on social media concerned about health who may be open to the concept of whole food, plant-based diet nutrition as a means of optimizing their and their family's health. There is a large target market, as Facebook alone has 190 million users in 2019. 40% of those users seek health information on the internet, and 94% go to Facebook. The Marin County geographic market target has a significant population of 259,000. There's the educated, it's an educated market with a bachelor's degree higher than 58%. The median value of owner-occupied homes are a little under $1 million, and owner-occupied housing is 64%. If you're renting, it's 1,863 is the gross rent. And households with computers are 93%. So we've got a very viable market in Marin County. The target is people aged 18 and over with health and ethical concerns. Ethical refers to the concern about killing and eating animals. Vegan and vegetarian websites such as Happy Cow list some 59 restaurants and stores in Marin County that feature vegan food, which gives you an idea that there is a demand for this kind of lifestyle. The target market messaging is Facebook and Instagram, which have a great deal of commentary on a WFPB lifestyle, and all the competitive sites mentioned above are represented. Facebook WFPB discussion is more detailed, but the message has to be simplified because many questions asked, even in closed groups, were so fundamental that a plant-based person should know their answers, such as cow milk and cheese being unhealthy, which they are. Some of the messaging is further is on Facebook would be target the persona of those confronting severe illness, such as heart disease and type 2 diabetes. On Instagram, it's more graphically oriented, and there was a large number of references to plant-based strategies and recipes. Because Instagram has a majority of female subscribers, and a key determinant of cooking at home is female gender, the persona based on these facts would be women seeking improved health for themselves and their families. As far as messaging goes on, we'll talk about Facebook, which should have messages that cite the science behind WFPB and analyze the reasons for the lifestyle. Instagram requires an emphasis on graphics and how to do it approach. The visual competition is intense, so we need to have graphics that are bold and catchy headlines included. A broader persona would be anyone who is concerned about weight reduction. The goals are, first, Facebook and Instagram followers increase, to create a company Facebook account, which we have now done, and linked to Instagram. And we want to increase followers from 0 to 500 in the first 6 months of operations. Second goal is to increase Instagram and Facebook click-throughs from none now to 100. And our goal will be to obtain 5 new clients with the use of Facebook and Instagram ads. The selected social media platforms will be Facebook and Instagram. Facebook is the largest social media site with 2.41 billion users, and it has 68% of the adult market, which is huge. Facebook can finally target a market down to individual household zip code and unique individual likes, which is a real marketing advantage. Participants discuss their health, medicine, nutrition, foods, and what to eat. They share recipes, and nearly every health and wellness product and service is covered on Facebook. Next we'll look at, we'll include Instagram, which is connected and is owned by Facebook. It's a photo and video sharing platform where users can share WFPB recipes. With Instagram shopping, users can click on a product and they can see a story and a feed and go to company's product list and actually buy a product. Hashtags can be employed to distribute content more widely. And Instagram is another large market site. It has 1 billion people and users, and which is 1/10 of the world's population. So it's a huge market. The timeline and marketing plan, we're only looking at 6 months on plan because we're starting out with this new, and it's a speculative market, and we're trying to predict the changes in values of a market target. And so there's no real way to know what our effects are going to be. So we're going to zero in on just the first 6 months and see what happens, and then after that we will evaluate our direction. We'll create Facebook and Instagram posts with URLs to the WordPress site, eatveggies.org blog, with number 1 will be on the subject of skipping breakfast. The post will be boosted then for 14 days at $5 per day. Total cost is $70 or $140 a month. Facebook estimates that this strategy may result in about 500 click-throughs. On January 9, there will be a health tip post to develop followers between new blog posts. And new blog posts will promote the web page every other week, while alternate week health tip posts will offer non-promotional information in order to maintain market pressure and build followership. All posts will be made at 2 p.m. on Thursdays. We found that 86% of posts are published during the work week, with engagement peaking on Thursday and Friday. Most shares are 1 and 2 and 3 p.m., so all posts will average East and West Coast times with a 12 Pacific Standard Time posting. On the middle of January, we'll evaluate Facebook and Instagram insights, the total lifetime likes, daily friends of fans, daily page consumption, and total reach. And the timeline and marketing plan, this will just give you an idea of what we're doing. And it will start with one, do you skip breakfast? It will be the first post. And then we'll have a health tip. First, the post will be boosted, and then every other week, then we'll have another. Folic acid will be the next subject, and then we'll go back into another blog that will be boosted, and then a health tip. And so we'll alternate them. And this is first is the timeline for Facebook, and then we have another timeline with similar topics, but modified a bit for Instagram. And there's the residual amount going through to June. Our budget, the principal of the company, which is Alan Appel, will be the sole employee during startup, and his home office will be used to mitigate expenses during startup. And this is the most vulnerable period for a company. And so starting using the home office, which is already paid for, will mitigate overhead. Fixed expenses of the office and home are based on rental value with taxes and utilities. The home office is 5% of the property and is used for other businesses 80% of the time. And therefore, an office of this business will be 20% of the time. The personal labor charges are set at $100 per hour, and they're provided free by the principal, myself. In-person consulting will ultimately be charged, but we'll see how that goes. The workload, I'm anticipating 2 hours per day, 5 days a week for the first 2 months, then 2.5 hours for 2 months, and then going to 3 hours for the last 2 months of the 6-month period. The advertising expenses will be alternate week blog posts on Facebook and Instagram, and these costs are $5 a day, run for 14 days, or $140 monthly. Here's the budget, and as you can see at the very bottom, the net income is 0, and the reason for that is the personal donation covers all the costs that are there. And the looking at it, if you really look at the true out-of-pocket costs, if you look at the line 143 in advertising costs, you end up with a total of $858 for the first 6 months, and rounded out to 1,000. That'll be the out-of-pocket expenses. Everything else is basically covered already. The return on investment, as marketing pioneer John Wanamaker famously said, half the money I spend on advertising is wasted. The trouble is I don't know which half. It is very difficult to determine what your true costs and true effects of advertising are. The inability to obtain hard data has been overcome to some degree by sources like Google Analytics and Facebook's Insights. But this is after the fact. It's difficult to actually predict consumer acceptance and conversions to a WFPB lifestyle in advance. So it's a very ephemeral kind of thing to try to track. So the return on investment, and we'll look at that from a point of view of proxies. WordStream shows that healthcare industry ads had a cost per click of $1.32 and a conversion rate of 11% with a cost per action of $12.31. So the $140 per month advertising cost would be $12.31, which we should be able to generate over 11 potential or actual clients per month. The cost per click, a rate of $1.32, we should receive 106 clicks per month, and this should generate 636 in 6 months. If most of these become followers, we'll have achieved our goal of 500 followers in the first half year. And this doesn't account for the organic followers who may come in from other sources and referrals from other people. So 500 seems to be a reasonable approximation of our target and a doable outcome. If the total personal donation by the principal is taken into account, the investment would be $31,000 and change, but the first 6 months for a return of 636 click-throughs to our webpage and 11 clients. But the reality is it's under $1,000 out of pocket if you don't include the additional labor by myself. In conclusion, the U.S. has an epidemic of obesity, heart disease, type 2 diabetes, and cancer, primarily due to the food we eat. In our company, we want to improve the health of Americans by providing education about a whole food, plant-based lifestyle. Our offering is differentiated from the competition by being hopefully more streamlined, more accessible, and we feel allow us to penetrate the market. Thank you, and here are the references which you can view later. I will make these available to you. Now the page of references and the final page of references. Thank you for your attention. I appreciate it very much.